you and I have been basically speaking and doing interviews for 8 to 10 years.
Yes.
So it's a nice kind of perspective to have because, whatever your sentiment has been, in my experience, has actually always been very accurate in terms of what's actually going on in the economy. So, love to catch up in terms of, you say prior to this interview, we're in interesting times. I think we've always been into interesting times in all the years that we've spoken. But what are you seeing these days?
Oh, Catherine, there's a lot of conflicting things going on in the economy. I think from a big picture perspective, a couple data points that I'll mention. Number one is clearly there's been a lot of money that's been put into the system, so that's percolating throughout the system, and that's causing some issues. There's no doubt about it. Now that might show up in supply chain, that might show up in asset valuations, and my view is it's really starting to show up in the inflationary numbers. And I've been worried about this for a period of time, but it's there. It's right front and center for the average person right now. Now, inflation doesn't hurt the people that have, are on the upper scale and in terms of the income brackets, et cetera. But for the average person, inflation is the most devastating tax there is. And so why have we got that? Well, most of it has to be attributed to monetary policy. So I think that the response by the governments and by the policymakers, particularly in terms of monetary policy and deficit financing, have now created this situation where we have a lot of inflation that's just percolating, as I say, underneath.
Hmm.
That is the one area that I'm quite concerned about. You also have way more government intervention in the market today than before, and I thought we had lots before, but clearly the government is more involved in so many aspects of our lives. And when the government gets involved, that typically means regulation, and regulation implicitly slows things down. I know what the intentions are, but I would tell you that it slows things down. And one of the reasons why I think we have rising prices and inflation is because productivity is going down. More regulation and productivity just gets hampered. That's what's happening. So hence we've got problems in the supply chain, basically right around the world. I see that as a big issue. Clearly, there's a lot of people have, with all the money in the system, lots of jobs, lots of this, lots of that, which is totally opposite than 18 months ago. When COVID hit, we had to lay off 1,800 people.
Right.
That's awful, that you go through that. Today, we got most of those people back, but I would tell you from a time of a slack labor market to an extremely tight labor market in 18 months, unprecedented that I've seen. That's been just a massive rebound. So,
Hmm.
um,
Doesn't that lead you to be a little bit more positive then in terms of the ability to rehire? I'm almost thinking with the inflation that CEOs such as yourself aren't going to hire because you've got the higher costs as well. I've only got 20 seconds and then we'll pick it up on the other side of this break.
I tell you, it's the issue I struggle with all of our businesses, and I would tell you, we've got a lot of really good hardworking people. There's a lot of hardworking people in Canada, but I've been adamant. I don't know if there's a whole bunch more of hardworking people that want to go into, let's call that the old economy.
Yeah.
The old economy is going to struggle, in my view, attracting new people, and then you've got a whole bunch of the baby boomer generation that's got a window that gets shorter and shorter, and we've got to replace that with other people that want to come in and learn the business, and that takes younger, and that's a real problem right now.